ABC Corporation manufactures industrial-sized water coolers and uses budgeted machine hours to allocate variable manufacturing overhead. Our information are budgeted output units of 15,000 units, budgeted machine hours of 5,000 hours, budgeted variable manufacturing overhead cost for 15,000 units is 161,250. Based on the actual operation, the actual output is 22,000 units, the actual machine hours used is 7,200 hours, and the actual variable manufacturing overhead costs incurred is 242,000. So based on this particular problem, let us try to solve first the budgeted, if we are asked ano po yung budgeted variable overhead cost or rate per unit. So if this is the question, so ang tinatanong, budgeted variable overhead cost rate per unit. So in order to answer this, of course, let us look first how much is the budgeted variable overhead cost, and based on the problem, that is 161,250. At since ang tinatanong ay rate per unit, i-divide lang natin to into the number of units. And alin yung number of units na tinutukoy? As mentioned here, 161,250 is good for 15,000 units. Therefore, the budgeted variable overhead cost per unit will be 10 pesos and 75 centavos. Now, if the question is how much is the or what is the flexible budget for variable overhead or variable manufacturing overhead. So since flexible ang tinitingnan, ibig pong sabihin nun, yung budget natin when it is being applied in the actual activity. So if that is the case, then let's identify how much is the or what is the actual activity. The actual activity in terms of number of units is actually 22,000 units, and that is also given. What are you going to do is to simply multiply this on the budgeted variable overhead cost rate per unit, which is computed earlier as 10.75. And the answer here will be your flexible. Flexible being adopted um, using the actual output. Therefore, the answer here will be 236,500. Okay? So, ibig pong sabihin, when the budget or the standard is being applied based on the actual units of 22,000, the expected amount of variable manufacturing overhead will be 236,500. Now, in the context of variance analysis, we are to compare the standard and the actual result. In this case, the budgeted, because we talk about the total value, the budget compared to the actual amount. So, in terms of comparison, and in terms of asking if there are any variances and whether the variances are favorable or unfavorable. So, compare natin yung standard or yung budget being compared to the actual. Budget here is the flexible budget, meaning applied to the 22,000 units produced. So based on the computed flexible budget, the flexible budget is 236,500. But based on the problem, the actual variable manufacturing overhead cost is 242,000. So you compare 236,500 to 242,000. There is a difference of, the difference is 5,500. And what is this 5,500? This 5,500 is the variance. Question: the variance is favorable or unfavorable? So in this particular example, the variance is considered to be unfavorable. Bakit po naging unfavorable yung variance natin? Because the expectation is just 236,500, but the actual is higher. Therefore, in terms of cost, pag cost yung pinag-uusapan natin, anything na mas naging mataas compared to what is budgeted or what is the standard is considered to be unfavorable. So the variance here, based on the analysis, is 5,500 unfavorable. Flexible budget variance.